Namaste, everybody, and welcome to the second in your Lunar Rhythms series. So for tonight, we are going to be looking at the waning gibbous moon. So last week was the ode to the full moon, and in the light of the full moon, our energy becomes supercharged, and we become the circadian rhythms are affected. This week, it's more of a reflective, cooling practice. There's going to be a little bit of heat in there just to warm us. It's more of a gratitude. So when the illumination of the moon goes to about 75%, it's all about gratitude and satiation. We bathe in that gratitude. We do find at this sort of time of the month that there are restless thoughts, there's still a little bit of anxiety, maybe a little bit of uneasiness creeping in. So by opening the heart, we release all of the those niggles, those thoughts of disease. So let's focus, let's think about when we're moving through the poses, let's think about how we feel the sensations in our body, and feel sort of the sense of gratitude for all the parts of your body that are connecting as we do this practice. So, the mantra really is, I am thankful for my heart. Okay, so we're going to really open the heart space today. So let's come and find your seat. So find a cushion, something to support, and come down. So sitting nice and tall, having some support for your bottom if you need to. Try and come into either virasana, sitting on your heels, this position here, where you're sitting on your heels like this, or come and sit in virasana, like so. So you've got your knees slightly, the feet slightly behind the hips, and have a little wiggle on your sit bones. And then set feet down through the sitting bones, growing length through the spine, allowing the chin gently to drop down toward the chest. Take your hands, so you've got the left hand over the right hand, the thumbs just under the collarbones, so just under here, and the middle finger in that recess underneath the shoulder, so when the shoulder meets the collarbone area. And so these are the lung points, lung point 1, which is where your thumb is, either side of the thymus gland, and you've got lung point 2, which is in this recess. So when we cross our heart like this, it helps make us feel the mechanics of the breath. So we're going to really open our heart and lungs. So start to close the eyes. You can allow the attention to come into the heart space. And use the breath like you're filling the heart like a radiant cup. So as you breathe in, taking this, soaking this space in energy and air. And at the end of the inhale, seal the pelvic floor, and then start to draw the belly in and up as you sigh out the breath through open mouth. Bathing in your exhale for cooling and calming. And repeat for 3. In through the nose. Feel the lungs riding up and out. Exhale, seal the pelvic floor. Breathe out through the mouth. And one more like that. In through the nose. And out through the mouth, sealing the pelvic floor, drawing and lifting the belly button in and up. And then keeping that sounded exhale, but now sealing the lips and hearing the sound in the back of the throat with the Ujjayi or ocean breath. For 3. For 2. Feeling the lungs lifting up into the arms. And as you draw the belly in, protecting the lower back. Taking the hands now to the middle fingers, just in that recess again. Blinking the eyes open now. And start to lift up. So the arms are the wings of the lungs. And when we lift them up, we open out our lungs like wings. On the inhale then, just draw the elbows in towards the face. You're lifting up towards, so you're just sweeping away the cobwebs, and exhale down and back. And repeat. So shoulder circles, just to open that lung meridian. And when the shoulders are tight, you probably hear some clicking. This is really yummy, just to release that tension. And again, just thinking about how you feel. What sensations do you feel now? Inhaling, bringing the arms up. Exhaling, drawing them forwards and down. Inhale, back and up. Really filling the lungs as you breathe in and lift the arms up. Seal the pelvic floor as you draw the belly in and back. Good. 2 more. Go with the flow of your breath. Good. And then just rest the hands down and just feel into sensation now. Just feel the zing in the arms, the opening in the back and the upper back. Good. So Tibetan healing breathing, now called Dorji breathing. And this is a really good technique to open all the lobes in the lungs. Okay, so let's start with the right side, because the right lung has 3 lobes, whereas the left only has 2. So what we're going to do, if I just show you quickly, is we're going to tap the side, quite rough, so it just engages. We're trying to engage that lung, and then we point, and then we take the arm up and over with a soft elbow, and we just go ha and shake the hand out like that. Okay, so do it with me. So we're going to do about 1 minute each side, or maybe 2 minutes each side, just to feel the difference in each side. So when you're ready, tap, point, overhead, and shake it out. Tap, point, oh, don't worry about the breath, overhead and shake. Tap, point, overhead, and ha. Keep going. A little bit faster. So it really helps to kick start your right lung. Really, really good technique. Just keep going with the flow of your with the flow of the movement rather than the breath. So very good healing technique in Tibet. So the Buddhist monks. Okay, 2 more. Ha, 1 more. And then just settle the hands down in Bhairavi Mudra, right on top of left, thumbs touch. Allow the eyes to close and just feel the difference in each side. So as you breathe in, does it feel a lot freer? Do you feel like you can breathe into the top of the lung? It might be freer, less restricted. And just notice how the left side feels. And just 1 more breath, just tuning into the sensations in the lungs. Okay, and then just coming to the other side now, repeat exactly what we've just done. So when you're ready, tap, point, overhead, and shake. Tap, point, overhead, and shake. Keep going.
I'm watching you. Let it be a very fluid movement. You might feel a creaking in the shoulder. There might be a little bit of disease in the left side. Just notice. You might find, like I do sometimes, that you tend to tilt the head somewhat. And this is quite a good way of releasing that head tilt. Good, 2 more. Tap, point overhead and shake. 1, 2, overhead and shake. And then again, this time, let's take Dhyana Mudra. So bring the left hand on top of the right hand and the thumbs to touch. And just allow the breath to settle and just see how it feels now. Now that you've worked both sides evenly, hopefully it's a lot freer. You might be able to take in more breath. And just give yourself gratitude for opening up the lungs. Good. Now come to all fours. Have support if you need to under the knees. Fan out the hands for tight shoulders. Good. Have a little sway because we've been sat. So just sway out the pelvis and then find your feet. Curl the toes under. Good. So from this position, allow the shoulders to draw back slightly. On the inhale, point the toes, draw the sit bones high, belly drops down as you look forwards in cow pose. As you exhale, curl the toes under, lead from the toes and let the rippling effect come up the spine and allow the head straight down toward the floor at the end of the exhale. Inhale, point toes. Again, rippling from the toes, the sit bones lift, the spine arcs, the shoulders move down and back as you look forwards with the heart. Exhale, take it from the toes, draw the belly in. Allow the head to follow that line. Just allow the movement to be a therapy with the breath. Really good therapy for the spine. Opening and undulation of the wave-like action of the spine. You can start to press into the hands a little bit more as you come into the cat pose and allow the elbows to soften a little bit more as you come into cow. Good. And then exhale, drawing in and up. Good. Lovely. The next round, on the inhale, allow the toes to flatten, allow the heart to lift, smiling the heart forwards. On the exhale, curl the toes under, draw the belly in so you've got a flat back and take it toward the heels. You might go, it might just be here, and then sliding the hands forward, coming into extended child. And then on the inhale, flat back, arms nice and straight. Come and lean a little bit forwards now and repeat. Cow pose. Neutral spine, draw the belly in. Chakrabhakasana, coming all the way back toward the heels, as far as is comfortable. Have the ears aligned with the upper arms. Inhale, straight arms as you come forwards, a little bit further forwards this time. Allow the elbows and shoulders to drop back. Exhale, coming into extended child, and then we'll take it a stage further. So starting to connect the core a little bit more now as you come forwards, drop down, keep a little bit of engagement now in the core. Exhale, draw the belly in, coming back. Good. Okay, one last one. On the inhale, come a little bit further forwards and start to allow the belly to drop down as you lift up the toes and look towards the sky. So half bow. Exhale, draw the belly in, allow the belly to plant the feet to the floor as you come back. So swan pose. So we're flowing for a nice swan pose, inhaling, allow the hips to come down towards the floor as you look up. Bring the toes together, and then as you exhale, part the feet as you come back. Just flowing through these poses, feeling the opening in the heart, just opening the heart, getting some work into the quadricep muscles as well. Flow with the breath. Allow the breath to dictate the movement. And then with the next exhale, come and stay in child pose, but have the knees, just check the knees are underneath in the same line as the hips. Okay, so you've got the knees kind of just tucking in just to the outer rib cage. And then you might want to just bring that left hand back to grab the heel. Now, if you have any tension in the thighs, in the hips, you might want to curl the toes under and just grab the heel as you just look towards the front hand. So coming into half camel. So on the inhalation, the right hand sweeps as you lift up and draw the belly in. The arm sweeps in a diagonal and the spiraling up as you bring the thighs forwards. And then as you exhale, start to float back down to your child pose and just holding the back of the feet. Good. And then inhale, you can take, if you are more advanced, perhaps in your practice, you can come to pointing toes. So inhale, left arm forwards. As you inhale, sweep it on a diagonal. You can take the hand up towards the knee crease. Exhaling, dropping down. Just allowing the breath to guide the movement and just go as far as feels okay for you. You might not want to come all the way down if you've got any tension in the knees. Coming the other side, right arm reaches, coming on a diagonal into your half camel. Good. And just slowly rolling back. It's a slightly twisting variation, which I really like. Really good to open the heart. Inhale, just allow the breath to dictate the movement. Only go as far as it feels okay for your body. Just blowing from side to side. Good. Be mindful of the thighs. Where are the thighs going? Can you draw the thighs further forwards as you come up? Lovely. One last round. Going over to the left. Exhale, drop all the way down into child. Bring the big toes together this time. You might want to create a stack of fists if this feels more comfortable for you and have the forehead on there. Otherwise, bring the forehead to the floor and just allow the hands to be open to receive and just stay there just for a few rounds of breath. So that half camel is a really good opening gratitude flow to enhance opening in the front of the chest. Good. And then when you're ready, just come up to kneeling. You might want to start, you can start in high kneeling if this feels more comfortable for you. So we're going to do the sequence that we did last week. I'm just going to, I'm warm now. Get this on. So we're going to start high kneeling this week, or you can go from low kneeling, it's up to you really. So start with the hands on the heart space. I'm just going to lift up my screen so you can see me a little bit better. Good. There we go. No, that's much better. So kneeling, hands into the heart space. On the inhale, just take the arms out to the sides and lift up to the sky as you open the heart up, hands to touch. As you exhale, take the right foot forwards and start to draw the hands in front of the chest as you come into that lovely opening in the hip flexor. Good. On the inhalation, stay in this position and draw the arms up wide to the sides and up above the head. Bring to the heart. And on the exhale, push away and deepen into the pose. See if you can keep the spine upright this week. Good. And then the final one, inhale, come a little bit back as you lift the arms up to the sky. Bring the hands to touch at the heart. And then taking that left elbow into a twist and draw it onto the outer edge of the thigh. And then use that as a resistance point to lift the belly away from the thigh and start to turn your gaze towards your back elbow. So just keep twisting and just breathe. You might want to sink a little bit deeper if that feels okay in your hip flexor. If it's a bit uncomfortable in the hip, you can curl the back toes under. Good. And then from the next inhale, lift the arms up as you come back. Hands to touch, so hip over the knee. And then exhale, come down to low kneeling. Well done, or high kneeling, it's up to you. And then repeat the other side. Inhale, lifting up as you lift the hands to the sky. Exhale, bring the hands to the heart, left foot forward, sinking in. Inhale, arms out wide and up. Exhale, bring the hands into the heart and press forwards and away. Try and keep an upright spine. Good. Inhale, come back a little bit further now, up to the sky. Exhale, hands to the heart and twisting in, right elbow on the outer edge of the thigh, and use it as a lever to open and rotate your chest. Good, and just breathe there, one more round, sinking a little bit deeper. If your hands hurt, take a fist and a cup with your hand. Good. Well done, everyone. And then from here, inhale, reaching back up to the sky. Exhale, bring the hands together and come back down to the heels. Or if you want to, you can come back down with the toes uncurled. Good. And then just stay here, just for a moment in quiet reflection. Just feeling how open that has made you feel in the hip flexors. So when we come to our bow pose, having open hip flexors are really important, as well as open hamstrings. Okay, let's work the hamstrings a little bit. So coming into our hot dog rolls. So let me just show you the sequence. So it's a sequence of 4. So we start with the hands and knees. So you've got the hands just underneath the shoulders, maybe a little bit further forwards if you've got any tension in your wrists. And then the same rules apply. So we curl the toes under for this sequence. On the inhale, the cow pose. On the exhale, we draw the belly in and we just lift the knees. This is quite tricky. It looks really easy. Lift the knees by 1 inch and then see if you can take the chest through with the knees quite low. And then at the end of the exhale, start to straighten up the legs. And you can even come onto the tippy toes. On the inhale, looking forwards and coming into high plank. And then on the exhale, slowly lower with conscious control of the core to the floor, and then repeat. Okay, so hot dog rolls, but a slower variation. Use the long, smooth exhale to help. So inhaling cow. Exhaling cat hover. And then at the end of the exhale, downward facing dog. Inhale, tippy toes ripple forwards through the belly, high plank. Exhale, lower the knees gently to the floor. Inhale, cow. And just repeat this sequence. Really, really good for the spine. Good to build heat. Good, and really nice for the hamstrings as well. So slow it down. Be more reflective. And be grateful for your core. Good. Lovely. Maybe 2 more. Good. Lifting up the knees by 1 inch or 2. Well done. Good. And just 1 more like that. Lovely. And then from here, just bring the knees to the floor. Have a little sway of the tail feathers. You might want to just come back to a little child pose and just open the palms out. So it's a lunar child. So we're opening the palms and just allow the head to drop and have a little sway. Just to release the hands, release the hips, release the hamstrings. Good. Okay, so we're going to come to moon gate pose. So this is kind of an extension of what we did last week. So just watch. So we're going to start in our base position. We're going to take it into a plank pose. So we start in this position, one leg comes back, the other leg comes back. Find your plank, so draw the hips down, press the heels back, strong arms, and then you can drop the right knee underneath the hip. You're going to pivot the right foot away as you pivot that left foot out. So the heel should be in line with the knee. And then you're going to lift up, like we did last week, this arm. And then instead of coming across and doing all of that pose like we did last week, I want you to lift this arm up to 12 o'clock and come up to gate pose. So just watch for a moment. From here, keeping this leg straight, you're going to press. You might want to lift them. It's easier actually if you lift the toes. Coming into our gate pose. Try not to get any plants on the route down. So inhaling, opening out to the side. On the exhale, bring the hand to the floor. Lift up this hand, press the palm to the floor, and see if you can lift the foot up. So this is called the moon, because that's the moon pose, and this is the gate. So moon gate. Okay, so when you're ready, find all fours, have a little sway. Take the right leg back. Make sure the hands are underneath the shoulders, and then the left foot back. And really press into the heels, push it into the ground, draw the belly in, shoulders rolling back, and then drop that right knee so it's underneath the hip. Take the foot around as you come up into your Vashisthasana side plank pose. Inhale, just float that foot back as you come to your gate or 5-point star. Good. Inhale here. As you exhale, take the hand down, lift up this upper arm. You might want to lift up the foot just to open up the hamstring. Good. Inhale, back to center. Exhale, hand to the floor, lifting up the foot. Stack the arms. And just go with the flow, using your obliques, drawing up, coming down on the inhale. Exhale, back to center. Inhale, hands to the floor, lifting up the arm. Exhale, lifting up the foot. Starting to get into the hips a little bit, inhaling, coming up. Just go with the flow. Exhale, coming down. And inhale here, sorry, I should have said. Exhale, coming back. Inhale, hands to the floor. Just go with the flow of your body. Exhale, slightly different variation. You might need to be able to lift it a little bit higher. Just notice how it feels. Good. One last one. Inhale in this position. Exhale, coming back. Feel the sensations in your body as you go through this sequence. Good. And then from here, from this position, bring that arm all the way over. So you've got the left leg out. Pivot on the right knee and the left toes and come back into a child pose. So bring the big toes together, allow the bottom to float down. You might want to just grab an elbow of each hand, allow the head to come to that interlace of arms. Allow the breath just to bathe into your heart space, into that radiant cup at the heart. Breathing the nectar of the energy into the heart and then coming back to all fours. Have a sway and then curl the toes under. Good. And this time taking the right leg back, coming into the plank pose. Drawing the hips down, rolling the shoulders back, getting open, and then bending that left knee. Good, well done. And just pivoting on the edge, so if I do it this way, pivoting on the edge and coming into your side plank variation. And then coming all the way up. And just check that the heel is aligned with this knee, and you might want to tuck the back toes behind the knee. Okay, you may even want to, if you've got it, have a blanket. You might need a little roll in the blanket, and you can put your foot on that if that feels more secure for you. Okay, and then start with your arms out wide, the lungs, the wings to the lungs. Inhale. As you exhale, start to bring that hand down as you elevate through the left side of the body. Good. Exhale, coming back. Inhale, left hand to touch the floor. Start bringing this right foot in and coming into a baby moon. You might find one side is easier than the other. Flowing through the postures, coming back to center. Exhaling, bringing the hand down. Inhale, lifting the arm up. You might even be able to scoop that hand down a little bit further. Exhale, coming back. Taking the breath on the inhale down to the floor. Exhale, lifting up and just flexing that foot. Good, to help. And repeat. Inhale. Well done. Exhale. Inhale, lifting the arm. Exhale back. Just flow a couple more rounds. Inhale. Exhale. The moon gate. Inhale. So it's an extension of what we did last week, but more energizing. Because last week we were very calm and cool. Like a half cartwheel. Okay, and then from here, bring the foot down, swirl that arm round, come back to all fours, stretching that leg out, bring the knee down, have a little sway and find your child pose. This time, open the hands out. You might even want to bring the hands like a little cup as you drop the ears aligned with the upper arms. And just allow, you might want to open the elbows a little bit wider, just to support the head. Allow the head some room. If you can't get the head to the floor, then you can just do what we did before with grabbing an elbow on each hand and just allowing the head to drop down. Again, breathing, feeling the mechanics of the breath, seeing how that's made you feel. A nice opening sequence for the body. Good. And then with your next inhale, just bring the hands underneath the shoulders, push up to kneeling. Take the hands in front a little bit, curl the toes under and roll up to stand. Come and face me now so that I can see your beautiful faces. So have the feet a little bit wider, so more than shoulder width apart. You can have the toes facing out slightly. Okay. If you've got any tension in the lower back, have the outer edges of the feet parallel. Good. So coming into half sun salute in the Qigong variation. Always start with Adi Mudra. So we take our thumbs into our little fingers and we curl like a fist around those thumbs. And then we have the knuckles together with the fingertips facing up at our lower navel. So right in the space 2 inches below the belly button. Good. Lovely. And then from here on the inhale, we take the left arm in front, lift up to the sky. So imagine you're grabbing the moon between the hands. So a little bit of resistance. On the exhale, floating over to the left, allowing that left arm to drop. Inhale, create resistance as you come up. Exhale, floating the other way, and allowing that right arm to drop. Allow the left arm to come forwards into a little twist. It's like a robot movement. Bend the knees a little bit as you bring the hands like you're hugging a tree. Take the hands in towards the heart and open out as you look up to the sky. And then as you exhale, start to squat down, take your sitting bones way back, and then imagine you're grabbing energy and take it back into the belly, and then create your thumbs and come back to that lovely position with Adi Mudra. Good. And then repeat the other side. So coming in, taking the other arm in front this time, sweeping the arms up to the sky. On the exhale, coming over to the right first, allowing the right arm to drop. Inhale, hands, imagine you're grabbing that ball of energy of the moon up to the sky, soft elbows. Exhale to the other side, allowing that energy to pour down that side as you bring the right arm forwards this time. And then coming into that hugging tree position, drawing in as you lift the heart and open the arms, looking up. Exhale, coming all the way down to the floor. And imagine you're grabbing that energy, drawing like a bowl back into the belly. Good. And then taking a breath here, breathing in through the nose and out through the mouth. Okay, variation. Okay, so very similar. So let me just show you. So we take the, we start with the other arm crossing over, and then we come into this side first, and then we go over to this side, like we did before in the first sequence. Inhaling, opening out. This time on the exhale, find a squat if you can get there. So the easiest way to squat is to turn the feet out a little bit wider, because the feet tell us where the hips are going. So that's quite a good cheat. Staying here just for a breath, and then taking the arms out wide and coming back up to the sky, and bring the hands into the heart. Okay, so let's do it together. So you might, if you want to, if you are feeling a little bit more adventurous, you might want to have the feet parallel, especially if the lower back is sore. Okay, let's start. So inhaling here, bringing the right arm in front of the left arm, lifting to the sky, coming over to that left side, inhaling, bringing the hands with the moon, exhaling, coming to the other side, so going over to the right, allow that left arm to come forwards, scooping it out wide, lifting up, so the tailbone moving down and back as you come into your squat position. Use the tops of the arms to move the knees back. It might be that you can't, if you can't get all the way down, then just take the bottom back and maybe just hang here. That's absolutely fine. Okay. And then with the next inhale, sweeping the arms as you turn the pelvis under, as you reach for the sky, micro back bend. Exhale, bring the hands to the heart. Good. Then repeating that the other side. Adi Mudra. Good. This time the left arm in front of the right arm, up to the sky. Coming over to the left side first. Inhaling, hold the moon up. Exhaling, keep holding the moon, and then allow that right arm to descend as the left arm comes forward. Inhale, open wide. Exhale, come into your squat position. Remember, open out the toes if you need to. Try and stay here. You may find that you need a little brick underneath the seat. That's a bit of a cheat, but really good cheat. Okay, and just stay here for a few rounds of breath. You may even want to bring the hands to the floor. You might have the heels slightly lifted. Just go with what feels good for your body right now. So a really good grounding pose. When we open the hips, we're tapping into the water element of the body. Good. Bring the hands in front now and just slide and glide the hands forward as you drop the knees down to the floor. Good. And then from here, coming to the long side of your mat, and we're going to come into our Sphinx pose. So to come into Sphinx, keep the hips over the knees, slide the hands forwards, and then you can start to draw down into Sphinx. Again, and have a little sway. You might need to just lift up a hip a little bit, just rolling one side to the other, releasing the pelvis. Bringing the elbows so they're tucking in a little bit underneath the shoulder. Roll the shoulders back and lift the heart. On the inhale and on the exhale, just start to draw the pubis bone into the floor, lift the belly and start to take a little twist. So drawing up the left foot, start to look. You might need to bring the right hand in to touch the left wrist. Start to look and over towards the foot. And then inhaling, coming back. So it's a little twist. Exhale, right toes up. So pointing the toes, left hand coming in toward the wrist and just looking over the right shoulder towards that toe. And just oscillate the position, alternate the position. Inhaling down. Exhale, draw the belly off the floor as you draw the knee up. Inhale, just looking over that shoulder. Exhale, coming back and drawing down. Inhale here. Exhale, right foot. Belly draws in. Inhale, looking over the right shoulder. Exhale, coming back. And then from here, just bring you might want to take the arms forwards and just rest for a moment with the big toes touching. Have a little wiggle, releasing the lower back as you bring the forehead onto the interlace of arms. You may even want to take it a stage further by creating a bowl with the hands in front of you and the forehead touching in between the arms. And just breathing here, a few rounds of breath into the back and being grateful, bathing in this lovely energy in the lower back. Taking it down the spine, feeling that sacred sacrum. Good. And then coming back to your Sphinx pose. So just watch for a moment. So we're going to come into a really good shoulder opener now. So we're going to start by having the left knee, so it's in parallel, so you've got a little right angle between the thigh and the shin, like so. Okay, and then from here you're going to take the arms, you're going to bring the forehead to the floor, the arms out to the side, and you're going to take the same arm as leg is lifted right underneath the shoulder, so you've got a little spider finger. And then you're going to start to press in as you draw, so you're reaching this right arm all the way back, coming to the right outer hip and then bringing the foot over, so you've got the shoulder on the floor, the right shoulder pressing into the floor, reaching through that shoulder, head is slightly lifted off the floor, so broken wing it's called, Qigong movement. So when you're ready, if you want to see it again, so start in Sphinx, lift that left knee, take that right arm out as wide as you can, left hand on the floor, and just start to press into the hand and into the foot as you come into the broken wing. You can bring the foot over. If you've got a really tight shoulder, it might just be here. You might just want to keep that knee on the floor just to protect the shoulder. Okay. So coming into this position and just holding it for 5 rounds of breath, because the breath here, it's a yin style pose. It's really useful to open up that wing. And this is probably one of the best releases for what we call the subscapularis, which is at the back of the shoulder blades, in the shoulder blades and shoulder area. Really good release. And this is what we need for when we come into our bow pose. Okay, and then when you're ready, just start to roll back after your 5 breaths. And you can just start to take that arm and just bring the forehead onto the arms and just have a little sway. Just feel, take a few breaths, feeling the energy in the lungs, pushing gently into the earth and grounding your energy down into that lovely warmth of the earth, like a blanket, like you're wearing a nice coat. And then come to the other side. So start in your Sphinx. Right knee comes out. And then from here, you're just lifting up onto the right. You're taking that left arm out, lifting up that right elbow, really reaching that left arm as far back as you can go, and then just starting to come into that release in this part here, right in that subscapularis. And just holding it for about 5 rounds of breath, breathing deeply. So this is a Qigong pose. Really good pose to open up the shoulders. And when you've done 5 breaths, slowly start to come very gently back. Oh, and you can just grab an elbow of each hand and have a little wiggle. And then just breathe into this space in the back. Good. Just breathing a few rounds of breath, releasing the shoulders, releasing the back. Good. Okay. So the next position. So if you have a tight lower back, take the hands so the hands are really hugging the contours of the body. The forehead is on the floor. So for those of you with tight shoulders, it's just going to be a position of Shalabhasana, little locust pose, pointing the toes, lifting the chest, keeping the hands in contact with the ground. If your back is okay, interlace the hands. So you might want to grab an elbow of each hand if that feels more comfortable. So grabbing, interlacing the hands, drawing, start at the sacrum. So I always like to start with the elbows out wide. And then on the inhale, you're starting to press down and lift up to help engage with the core, the pubis bone, and the chest. And then as you exhale, releasing gently down, you can draw the arms back up again. So we inhale, we draw down, we lift as we elevate. We exhale, we lower to the floor, and just let the hands right up. We're just going to do it for 3 breaths. So go with the flow of your breath, lifting up into Shalabhasana first, the locust pose. And as you exhale, slowly lowering down. Good. Good. Okay. And then from after the last one, just come back to your Makrasana, your crocodile pose. So opening out the elbows, forehead on the interlace of arms, big toes together, and just having a little sway from side to side to rest and relax. It's a resting crocodile. Good. Just one breath here. And then bring the hands under the shoulders, press back into a little child pose. So you're just taking the back in a different fashion, just to open up the back. And then you can bring your scarf or your belt, if you've got one, and have a little smile with your belt. You might not need one. If you're using a belt, you start bringing the knees over the belt, and then you come into your position like so. So just watch for a minute. So Dhanurasana. So if you're using a scarf or strap, it's quite nice. If you're a bit tired, you can see that my hands are quite close to my feet. So I can probably just reach my feet. So you can take the outer sides of the feet. That's absolutely fine. If you've got really good shoulders, you can take it onto the inside of the feet. Okay, but that's a bit more of a challenge. So listen to your body and just meet it where it's at. So from here, the Dhanurasana, the shoulders. So we move the shoulders up towards the ears first and then draw them back. And that creates that lift. We push the feet into the hands to lift up our chests. And then we take a lot of breath into the lungs. And then as we exhale, we lower down very gently. And we relax the feet. And we're going to do it 3 rounds. And on the 3rd and final round, I want you to hold it for 3 breaths. Okay. Just have the big toes together. Grab the elbow in each hand and just have a little sway. Release and let go. Good. Hands underneath the shoulders, roll the shoulders back and come into your child pose. Removing the scarves away to the side. Big toes to touch, knees slightly wide. Grab an elbow of each hand. Let's take it into a very calming child pose. And when you're in this position, again, meet the breath into the back. Feed it down the spine. Into that bowl of the pelvis. And allow it just to release into the ground. And as you breathe, feeling the breath lifting your ribs away from your thighs. And as you exhale, softening down gently into the floor. Good. And then from here, just stretching out the arms and coming back to all fours. You've got a choice now. So for the relaxation or shavasana, you may want to come into your tummy. So I do recommend doing shavasana slightly differently. So you may want to bring your jumpers back on. If you've got socks, put them on, just so that you're feeling supported and comfortable. I'll join you. Have a blanket. I quite like the idea of having something warm. I've got my rug underneath me, but you might want to open out a nice soft warm blanket. I like to have it folded into quarters under my pelvis. So when I'm coming into, I just love having it here, grabbing an elbow of each hand, just allowing myself to settle here. And you could bring the side of your cheek onto the floor. You could even have, sort of wrap your scarf if you've got one like this, or a blanket or something just underneath the head, and you can have the arms out to the sides. You might want a cushion perhaps under the forehead. Or you can take shavasana. It's really up to you. And as you lie here, just allow yourself to become aware of the sensations in your body. Notice how you feel in your heart, the ocean of emotion. You may even be able to feel your heartbeat. And imagine your heart is breathing on its own. And as you breathe in, taking energy from the back of the heart, so receiving that energy. And as you exhale, pour it out through the front of the heart. So we give through the front, we receive through the back.
Notice how you feel as you breathe in this energy from the back of the heart. Is there a difference between the receiving and the giving of energy at the heart? Your heart has the capacity to transform negative emotion. So as you take in and receive energy, feel it as divine energy. And as you breathe out, release that negative energy. And just have a reflection of someone or something that you're grateful for. Perhaps it's this practice, or someone that you've met today. Or perhaps a pet. And just think of and visualize that person, thing, or animal. Receive that lovely energy. And as you breathe out, take out that positive energy to that thing, that object, that person. Give them your gratitude. Even if it's a smile of the heart, that thing, that person, that object will smile back. And then feel that smile in the heart lifting into the corners of your mouth. Have a little smile behind your lips. And be grateful for your body. Take a deep breath into the heart. Exhale with a sigh. Release and let go. And introducing movement into your fingers and toes. And with your next exhale, hugging the knees in. If you're on your tummy, on the next exhale, just allow yourself to come into a little child pose before coming up to sitting. Keep the softness at the back of the eyes. When you're ready, you can bring the hands, bring that energy in the palms of the hands at the heart. Now bow to the divine energy within. Namaste. And then warming the hands. That heat between the palms. And with that heat, creating little cups as you palm the eyes and pouring in light and energy back into your face. And then you can gently bring the hands back. And thank you very much, everybody.